Hey everybody, welcome back. If you recall last time, we imported some time series stock price data from Yahoo Finance into our Stata file here. And one of the things we noticed when we opened up our little data browser there was that the date variable here was being read by Stata as a text or a string variable, and it wasn't able to read that as a date, so we couldn't use it in our analysis or our graphs that we might want to generate. So as if you recall, we generated that trend variable, which does everything we need it to do, except it's not going to show up on our graphs, so you can't really look at the variation in the variable over time and tell when different events happen. So if you're going to be presenting time series charts in your research, we really do need to solve that problem. So, of course, Stata has a way of doing that, if you just know the right commands. So we're going to basically generate a new variable. So anytime you use that gen command or generate, you can call that new variable whatever you want. We might want to call this date VAR, so this is going to be our date variable. And this is going to get a little bit awkward here, because we're going to say this is going to be equal to date, but not this date variable here. In this case, date is actually a function within Stata that's going to create this new variable in the format of a Stata and human readable date. So inside that function, we're going to put the variable date, and again, that's what we imported directly from Stata. From Yahoo into Stata. And then we're going to need to tell Stata what format that date is in, that text variable. So we're basically going to be transforming it from text into a Stata readable numerical value. So if you recall, this was kind of the standard American format of month, day, year, and that's what Stata is going to be looking for here. So MDY in quotes, and telling Stata what it's reading and how to turn it into a date. So we hit enter after that, and let's go browse and see what we created. So here's our original date variable here. So again, the month, day, and year. And then our date variable. What happened here? Okay, so we have a date variable that's equal to 21,140. That is not very helpful. Well, turns out what Stata does is its internal date reading program starts everything at January 1st, 1960. That takes on the value of 1. So what this number here means is that between January 1st, 1960 and November 17th, 2017, apparently 21,140 days passed over that period. Well, that's great, but that's not really any more useful to us. So this is what we would call the Stata readable date format, but it's not human readable. We can't do that math in our heads very quickly to know what date that actually represents on the calendar. So luckily, there's another command that we can use. So we're going to want to format that date variable that we just created into a daily date observation. So in Stata, that's going to be the %, TD. So that's time and then D for daily, and hit enter. And this didn't generate a new variable, it just changes the format over which we're going to view. Oops. There we go. That variable we just created. So now, when we call this back up, it's going to show up in this human readable date format. And just make sure everything matches up. There, December 6th. Yeah, that looks good. So if we go back and now tell Stata to use that date variable as its time observation identifier. So we go back and use that tsset command again, but instead of the trend, we put in 8 VAR. Then we bring up our time series plot, say again for our Bank of America stock price. Of course, the variation is exactly the same. The vertical axis hasn't changed. That's the dollar value per share of the price. But on the horizontal, now we have our human readable. So that makes it much more useful. You can copy and paste this right into a report and save across the line. So if we do TS line and the level of the S&P, and same thing, we've got our date variable in human readable format on that horizontal axis. All right, so now we'll be ready to take these price levels and index levels, turn them into returns, and then we can start to estimate our first capital asset pricing model regression. And we'll do that next time, and I will see you then.